Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this year's Leaders Panel, a world of parallel realities. Again, a lot of food for thought that our leaders have given us with something that I'm sure subsequent sessions will take with them. Prime Minister of Serbia, Milos Vučević, Prime Minister of Croatia, of course, always, Andrej Plenković, of course, thank you so much for your hospitality, as always, the Prime Minister of Slovenia, Robert Golob, and my good friends, Prime Minister of Albania, Edi Rama. Next year, you will do a one-on-one with you here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated because we have a true highlight for you coming up. Thank you so much, Prime Minister, for this talk. Ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of the BSF Distinguished Partner 2024 Award is very worthwhile, a very important addition to this year's Bled Strategic Forum. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce a lady, a woman of immense courage and conviction. She has become a symbol of strength and resilience, standing alongside her husband for many years, Alexei Navalny. After his tragic death, Navalnaya has emerged as a powerful advocate for human rights, justice, and democracy in her own right, taking on a role she had perhaps never planned to occupy, namely as the figurehead of Russia's anti-Putin movement. Her steadfast commitment to her values and her belief in a Russia that is guided by the principles of democracy, truth, and accountability are harmonious with the principles and mission of the BSF, making her a very worthy recipient of the 2024 BSF Distinguished Partner Award. Ladies and gentlemen, to present the award to this year's recipient, please join me in welcoming back on stage Prime Minister of Slovenia, Robert Golob, together with Yulia Navalnaya. It's great to see you, Prime Minister. Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I want to thank Slovenia a lot for such a warm welcome. I had very nice and welcome meeting this morning with Foreign Minister, and I want to thank Prime Minister Golob for such a nice, kind words about my husband. It means a lot for me. His legacy, the memory about him, of course, thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me to speak at the Bled Strategic Forum and for the award you have decided to give me. It's a great honor. But even more importantly, it's a fantastic opportunity to address to such distinguished audience. A great chance to deliver my speech to a large group of people who are at the heart of strategic decision-making. The events of the last years have been unfolding at such an alarming pace, and the world around us is changing so rapidly that you are constantly having to take a vast number of tactical decisions. You are here at this hall because you are great at this. You are best in your countries at this. Your voters have entrusted you with managing the never-ending challenges thrown at today's world: wars, epidemics, climate issues, the economy, migration, and many, many others. However, I would like to talk not about tactics today, but about strategy, especially since we are gathering here at the Strategic Forum. And of course, as a politician and a citizen of Russia, I want to talk about Russia. Alexei Navalny, my husband, who was killed by Putin 6 months ago, often used to say, never lose sight of the bigger picture. He had unique ability to see the bigger picture, to create a vision for the future many years ahead, and to present it in a form that was understandable to everyone, to inspire others with his ideas. Thus was born his vision of the beautiful Russia of the future, a democratic, peaceful European country that will, without doubt, succeed Putin's regime. But how do we get to this country? Where it will come from? And I'd like to ask you a simple question. What is the European Union strategy for Russia? Not its current set of measures, sanctions, restrictions, regulations, etc., but its strategy. How does it sound? In a short, clear, and future-oriented way. Can it be defined in 3 or 4 sentences? It seems to me that such a strategy doesn't currently exist. I believe this is the major problem. There is a certain line of action, for example, about imposing sanctions. Governments of different countries imposed various sanctions on Russia, both personal and sectoral, as well as against ordinary citizens. At the same time, no one has clear understanding of why they are being imposed, what is the ultimate goal, and how they affect the speed at which Putin's regime will collapse. Indeed, how can anyone understand this if there is no big picture to measure this against? Without a strategy, it's impossible to make sensible tactical decisions. A strategy provides the framework needed to evaluate the effectiveness of each current decision. For example, consider Europeans' commitment of green energy. The strategic decision was made quite some time ago. Obvious, there are tactical disagreements among 27 countries, which is perfectly normal and unavoidable. However, despite these disagreements, no one questions the fundamental principles of the strategy. No one suggests demolish all the wind turbines and returning to a coal and fuel oil. European countries are each pursuing green energy at their own pace and in their own way, but they are all moving in the same direction within the framework of the overall strategy. So, what about the debates on Russia? We easily find those who openly argue that we should give Putin everything he wants, make peace on his terms, and return to business as usual, including buying oil and gas. However, no one can explain why Putin would stand by any agreement on what to do, when he ignores them and resumes the war after taking a breather. We can also easily find those who claim that all Russians truly support Putin, but they cannot explain why the number of political prisoners in Russia is rising daily, or why the number of Russian immigrants abroad continues and increases every day. And no one of them talk about how to support those Russians who oppose the war or how to win over their doubters. Finally, there are those who advocate for the urgent decolonization of Russia, arguing to split our vast country into several small safe states. However, these colonizers can't explain why people with a shared background and culture should be artificially divided, nor do they say how this process should even take place. We see a wide range of opinions, but we don't see a strategy. Of course, it's very difficult to reach compromise from such diverse positions, but reaching a compromise is the job of politicians. No matter what Europeans' future holds, Russia will be part of it. No matter what Russia's future holds, it will be linked to Europeans' future. We cannot close our eyes and make Russia disappear, fortunately. We cannot close our eyes and make Putin's regime disappear, unfortunately. We need to develop a plan and following that accordingly. And of course, a strategy for Russia cannot be developed without Russia. It must include the part of Russian civil society that opposes Putin. Russians who have been working on the basis of democratic European principles throughout Putin's rule. Russians who protest against the war, who fight against Putin's dictatorship, risking their freedom and their lives. In recent months, I have had many meetings with a wide number of high-level politicians. And at every meeting, I am asked, how can we help? Well, here's my answer. Let's work together to develop a strategy and to start implementing it. If you ask me how it might sound, here's my answer. Russia can and should become a democratic European country within its internationally recognized borders. This won't happen while power is usurped by Putin and his criminal regime. So, together with Russian civil society, we will fight together to remove this obstacle to peace and freedom. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Well, a strategy shouldn't sound complicated. It should be clear. It should provide clarity on what to do and what not to do. For example, support Russian civil society, Russian independent media, Russian human rights defenders, and any Russian horizontal structures. Yes, that aligns with the strategy. Support those who promote hatred of Russians. No, that doesn't align on the strategy. Thank you. Make a distinction between Putin and Russia. Yes, that aligns with the strategy. Negotiate with Putin as he were a legitimate, democratically elected president of Russia. No, that doesn't align with the strategy. Support Ukraine in exercising its right to defend itself. Yes, that aligns with the strategy. Threaten to divide Russia in many parts, playing into the hands of Putin's propaganda. No, that's not aligns with the strategy. There are a lot of many other examples, but we need to find a compromise on the important issue. What kind of Russia do we want to see after Putin? Once we agree on this, it will be easier to make tactical decisions. Each decision will be more effective, and the future we are working towards will arrive much sooner. Let's do it together. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Yulia. Always great to see you. Thank you so much indeed, and congratulations. Thank you and congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, before the break, we